for tuning in today. And because it's Sunday, a day of rest and reflection, I figured it would be a good as time as any to think about our health and how it affects our oop, oop, my apologies. But I think today is a great opportunity for us to talk about our health and how it affects our earning potential because let's be real. Some of us are broke because we are burnt out. Catch it? Catch it. Money getters. We definitely want to get to the bad, but when we do, we want to be able to enjoy it, right? So, no matter where you are in life, it's always a good time to talk money and to talk health. So, let's get into it. Um, Thank you all for tuning in today. I really appreciate you. I know it's Sunday. A lot of us are resting. We pushed ahead, an hour? I woke up, it was 9 o'clock. First of all, I never sleep past 4 o'clock. So I did wake up in between there, but it's Sunday. So I was like, let me catch up on some rest because Monday through Friday, I do a lot of running around, right? Hey, Ashley, I know you're probably just getting home. Well, no, you should be asleep, Ashley, right? Hey, hey, Dr. Ninja Turtle, thank you for tuning in as well. We've been going from live to live today, right? We supported Lisa J. Stocks in her live earlier, and I thank you for coming over to support me as well. But we got to talk health. I know that a lot of us on this channel we're getting a little older. All right, I don't want to be presumptuous. I know some of you are still in your 30s, but from my analytics, a lot of us are in our 40s and 50s as well. But it's never too early to talk this way because we live in a world where it's always hustle, 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 get to the next dollar, right? But we got to take care of ourselves because if we don't, not only will we not make money, we'll have high blood pressure, we'll have all types of illnesses. So let's get to it, guys. Um, let's see where I'm at in my notes. Okay, so today we'll be talking about health is wealth. We'll be focusing on mental health, emotional stability, physical health, and of course, our spiritual foundation. We're going to talk about all aspects of health. All right. Um, Let me see. Where am I at in my notes? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me ask you all something. What good, well, let me say this. What good is making money if your blood pressure is high, if you're exhausted, stressed out, and your body is falling apart? I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Some of you may already know my story. I don't mind sharing it because I feel when we share our testimonies, it can always help someone else, right? Well, in my prior life, when I had a career as a probation officer, I was working in a very toxic environment. And before I knew it, time had passed. I had been working for years, and finally, my body started to respond to the stress. I had never had high blood pressure or anything like that, but I started developing some of the symptoms that you get when you are overworked, when you're exhausted, and quite frankly, when you're working somewhere that is not conducive to your well being. So, what did I do? I cut my losses and retired early because I can't be going to a place of employment and I'm not liking where I'm at. That's just not me. And I know that we all have bills to pay. I know some of us have families to take care of. And quite frankly, we don't want to be broke, right? And having to depend on the government, family, or anyone, right? So I'm not gonna say, "Oh, if you don't like your job, just quit." It took me years to finally say, "This is it." It took me years, and I quite frankly believe that it saved my life. It certainly took away a lot of the negative emotions I was having, right? I know I remember you saying that you worked in a toxic environment as well. Dr. Ninja Turtle says he was in a toxic environment for 10 years. And I know that you worked a government position as well. And when you get one of those good government jobs, everyone tells you, "Oh, you have a good career, you're making good money, good um you have good benefits." And you really think to yourself, "This is where I'm going to retire from." That's what I thought. I did have aspirations and I continue to have aspirations of being a New York Times bestseller. That's coming. I know it's going to happen one day. But I still needed something solid, right? I needed something that could provide for me and my children right then and there. So I was content and happy to stay there if things had been different. I did like working with juveniles. I loved working with girls. I have 5 girls of my own, but I loved being able to be a change agent for at-risk youth. That was something that I really enjoyed doing, but the politics of it all and the constant changes, the long work hours, and the potential for any type of drama, it could happen any day, and some would say, "Well, maybe that wasn't the job for you," and for a long time, I was like, "Well, no, I can do this job just as well as anybody." It doesn't matter if you're good at what you do. If it's not for you, it's not for you, right? So that's just how I feel about it. Happy Sunday. How are you? Let me see. What does that say? Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. Thanks for tuning in. And that's a long name, sir. But thank you for tuning in. Um, I feel that a lot of us are chasing wealth while destroying our health. And eventually, our bodies will collect that debt. Have you ever been so tired you couldn't think straight? Sometimes I feel like that in my job as a mom. Some days I go so hard and I do so much for myself and my daughters, for my content, my career as a consultant. I have so many balls in the air, but the difference between my life now and when I was employed is that anytime I want to put something on hold or take a little bit longer to complete a project, or if I want to say, you know what, I'm going to take off some time from YouTube, I can do that. And I've done it. If I don't want to go on live, I won't go on live. That's just what it is. Hold on, guys, for 1 second. My apologies. See, it's Sunday, y'all. But I haven't taken a day off all month. It's still money making March, and I said I would come live every day in March, and I'm doing it. That's the benefits you have when you work for yourself or when you work from home and you have your own business. And but another caveat to that is that when you have your own business, there's more pressure for you to put in the time and effort. And sometimes we put in a little bit too much, right? Thank you, the only hi, Peter North, your old adult film star. Wow. Okay. Thank you, good looking. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Okay. You know what? Let me go ahead and make the stream subscribers only. Okay, let's do that. I didn't do that today. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I know better. So, okay. So we're in subscriber only mode. All right. Okay. Again, hustle culture is glorified. It says we have to work ourselves to the point of exhaustion, right? But burnout lowers productivity. The more we work, the less we actually benefit. Because if we're tired, eventually we're going to start getting sick. We may have to take time off from work. And I used to be like that. When I would work double shifts, eventually my body would conk out and I would get tired and I would have to call out, which is not good. Or I would come to work late because I don't care how much I wanted to keep going. My body can only go so much. I think 3 days is probably the most that your body can uh, can stay awake. But let's see. I want to tell you guys something really fast about how your body starts to break down based on the lack of sleep that you have, right? So let's see. Okay, so it says how many days? I'm asking Google, how many days can you go without sleep? It says the longest recorded time without sleep is roughly 11 days. Wow, but it is highly dangerous and not recommended. Significant physical and mental impairment, including hallucinations, cognitive dysfunction, occurs just after 3 or 4 days. So if you are not getting enough sleep, not only will your body start to feel it, but your mind will start to feel it. And some of us have a hard time sleeping because of the stress that we're enduring. If you are not at peace, you will not be able to go to sleep. That's just what it is. As long as your body is at peace, your nervous system is where it's supposed to be, you will be able to go to sleep. But if you're having a lot of stress, you can't turn off your mind at night, you will have a hard time going to sleep. 24 hours without sleep um, is equivalent to blood to a 0.10 blood alcohol concentration, which means in essence you're inebriated if you go 24 hours without sleep, and you will have poor judgment, mood changes, and memory issues. 36 hours without sleep, you will have extreme fatigue, hormone imbalance, and speech impairment. 48 hours without sleep, you start developing depersonalization, hallucinations, and high irritability. 3 days without sleep, major deficits in perception, cognitive function, and potential hallucinations. The body struggles to function with severe emotional stability. Now, I know some of you think, well, I got enough sleep at night. I think as an adult, if your body is working and functioning normally, you probably need a good 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night. Some of us are getting by on six. For the longest time, I was getting by or trying to get by on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So that means that I was sleep deprived essentially every day. And I went like that for years. I still do that even now sometimes, but the difference is I'm not going to a job. But just imagine a sleep deprived mom on the road. She's irritable. You know, you have an increased chance of getting in a car accident or just making mistakes. So I do not recommend that you push your body and you go without sleep. Your body needs rest to be able to function, right? Um, but if you don't get enough sleep, you'll start stress eating, maybe you'll start spending more money because you're just pushing yourself too much to make money. And I know our jobs want us to be there at a certain time, but if you start feeling the effects of stress or a toxic work environment, then I recommend that you take time away. I may, even if it's a day off, just to think and to see where things are for you and if you can possibly find employment elsewhere or do you need to take time off from work. I always recommend that people leave wherever they are not best, where they're not being best served. I highly recommend that. Hey, Tasha, thanks for tuning in. Blessings to you, sweetheart. Um, Mental health and money. Let's talk about decision fatigue, depression affecting motivation, anxiety affecting risk taking. And let me ask you all, have you ever avoided dealing with your finances because it stressed you out? Um, let's tie that into mental clarity and how to make better money moves. I know if I don't know about being depressed and not wanting to look at money, but if I didn't have money, the last thing I was going to do was check my mail. When I was off work, I was like, shoot, I'll pay you guys when I can. Or I wouldn't click on certain emails when my money was funny. Also, the last thing I was going to do is check my bank account. When I got the money, then I was like, okay, let me tend to the bills. You see what I mean? How we do when money isn't right and our mind isn't right, right? But if our mind isn't right, then our money isn't right. It goes hand in hand. I'm saying a lot, but let me know if you feel me in the chat. Let's talk about emotional health and financial choices. Um, have you ever went out and went on a shopping spree because you broke up, or have you ever rewarded yourself with shopping because you were under a lot of stress? You know what we call that? We call that retail therapy. Um, I think when I was younger, I probably said, well, I have the money. I didn't think to myself, well, you have money, you need to save it. I thought to myself, well, you have money, you could go spend it. Nowadays, now that I'm older, I know that money is just money and things are just things. So um, I know that when I buy something, my propensity is to love it and then leave it alone. Like I'll buy a new bag, for instance, right? And then I'll carry it for a while. I love looking at it. But then next thing I know, it's in the closet with everything else that I bought. So that's what's helped me to spend money less these days. If I don't have a need for it, or if it's not going to be something that I know that I'm going to use a lot, I won't spend my money on it because it would be just a waste, right? Or if it's not something that is going to stand the test of time, like even if I don't use it often, it's something that will last a long time. Like I recently bought myself a luxury purse, and I knew that, you know, I wanted one for a long time, and I had weighed heavily if I should buy it or not. But I wore it for a while and then I put it away because it's just big and it wasn't something that I wanted to drag around every day. But I know that it's still going to be the same purse 10 years from now. It's still going to be in style and it's still going to have the same monetary value. So I don't lose anything. I didn't lose anything by purchasing it. And so that's what I think about nowadays. If you're young and you're watching it, watching this live, I think one thing that we had to remember is impulse control should always be at the forefront of our mind, right? If we can't buy it twice, or if it's not something that is a instant need or a direct need, do we really need to purchase it? I really evaluate things like that these days. Like, is this something that I really need or that I really want? Because the last thing I want to do is have buyer's remorse, right? And I feel like people don't just go broke because they're poor. I feel like people go broke because they're overwhelmed with life. And sometimes when we're overwhelmed, we make those impulse choices and go out and buy things that we really don't need. I know people who they stress shop all the time, but what they do is they go to like Dollar Tree or they do clearance shopping, things like that. So they give themselves a budget, right? Or maybe they even go thrift shopping. So although they can afford to go buy shop regular price, what they do is they give themselves $50 and then they go to the clearance racks or Dollar Tree, and then that way they don't feel so bad about the things that they buy. Hi Penny, thanks for tuning in. Um, Physical health and earning power. One key truth is your body should be your first business. And I'm talking to me right now. Last summer, if you guys are subscribed to my channel, then you know I started a weight loss journey. Don't ask me what happened to that. I was doing so good. However, I am getting my mind right so I can get back to uh, eating clean and working out because I have to be honest. Since I fell off the wagon, I feel it. I feel the difference. Last summer, when I was eating healthy, I wanted to work out more and I wanted to work more. I could do a lot more and get a lot more done. If you are experiencing chronic fatigue, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, it will affect your stamina, right? So we got to eat right. We have to. We got to eat right and we got to exercise. It's not even about looks. It's not. It's about having the stamina so that we can show up to work on time and so that we can be productive and so that we won't have all those medical bills, right? And I'll tell you, I know for a fact that when I don't eat right and when I don't sleep right and I don't exercise, it's hard for me to want to get up and do what I got to do. You feel me, Penny? I'm I'm sluggish, and I want to say for the last, I want to say January and February, I was still getting a lot done. But this month, I don't know. I know I'm feeling more and more like, oh, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do that today. And I know it's because I'm picking up weight. And that's why I wanted to have this live today because even if it's not a weight issue that you're experiencing, maybe you're not eating as healthy as you should, so your blood pressure isn't like it should be, or your blood sugar isn't where it should be at, and you know that you got to get that together. Let's talk about it. Let's really hone in on that because we want to not only make money, we want to be able to enjoy the money that we're making. Um, Michael Jackson, he was a millionaire and he was the top performer that there was, but he was sick. He was addicted to drugs, so he couldn't perform the way he wanted to. And he just continued to use drugs and continued to use drugs until he overdosed. That's awesome, Penny, that you lost 30 pounds. Let us in, let us in, let us know. How did you do it if you don't mind sharing? Because I'm thinking about what is it, GLP-1s? Child, I've been resisting, but my girl Candy K has started talking about that she started doing them, and I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I'm still weighing my options. Um, but my doctor was like, "Look, you try to lose weight on your own and you failed. You need help." And I'm like, "Actually, I didn't. I didn't fail because I lost 40 pounds on my own. Now, did I keep it up? No, but I do know that I could lose weight on my own if I do put in the work. So it's not about me taking something because the same mindset that I have about taking medication is the same mindset I have about eating right. It's all up here. You know, I could take GLP-1s and still not eat right because I still have to make the choice to eat healthy no matter what. People take those medications all the time and they may eat less, but they still don't eat healthier. You know what I mean? Lots of water, walking 7 days a week. I bet you do. I bet you do. There's nothing like water and exercise to make you feel like a brand new person. And it's important. Medical debt is one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in America. And let's just be real with ourselves. A lot of us aren't dealing with medical issues because of something that we got due to our genetics or because we got in a car accident. A lot of us are unhealthy because of the lifestyle choices that we make. And many of us are making those detrimental lifestyle choices because we are overworked and we're tired. When you're overworked and you haven't got gotten enough sleep, you're going to eat more, and it's usually not going to be something healthy. You're going to stop at a convenience store or stop at a fast food restaurant because you're tired. You don't feel like going home to cook after working all day, right? I'm being just being honest, Penny. I know that's me. A lot of times after working all day and carpooling my children here and there, we'll end up at McDonald's in the drive-through, and we all said, "Okay, we're not going to uh, eat out this month. We're going to really because my girls they try to eat healthy when they as much as possible too, right? I gotta stop it. This month we've been doing better about eating out. I know I have. Today they actually had Panda Express, but I cooked I cooked a few days last week and I made meals that would last so that we can go back and eat leftovers if we wanted to. Um, so I know that I'm the adult and it's up to me to say, hey, you gotta eat better. But my kids are old enough to say, you know what, I want to eat fruit today, or I want to eat this, or I want to eat that. And they have fruit and they have vegetables and they have different choices as well. Um, and it's me that actually has the weight issue, not them. But I do prefer that they eat better because I think that parents don't really take this into consideration, but we teach our children how to take care of themselves as they get older by being an example. So if I'm eating healthy and I'm making good choices, then they'll know to do the same thing as they grow up, right? Right. So yes, we got to make sure that we are getting enough rest, right? That we are eating healthy and exercising, and that we are checking in with ourselves and making sure that we are making healthy choices when it comes to spending money and how we're spending our time. A lot of us spend our time working at our 9 to 5s. And if a lot of our time during the day, during our waking hours, is spent working for somewhere else, it should at least be a place where